Hi everyone, my name is Enro Mendoza. I'm 30 years old. 12 months ago, I decided to quit social media, and now I'm back. I want to share with you why I did it, how the experience was, what I learned, and where I go from here. So, caveat, this will be very raw. I don't have any script for this. I have a rough outline in my head, but since I was out of social media, this is me very rusty and just trying to collect my thoughts, trying to be comfortable in front of the camera. And yeah, let's give this a shot. So, number one, why I did it. I think looking back when I was 29, I was going through a self discovery phase. I was trying to unpack all of my behaviors, the things that made me tick, what were the things that distracted me versus trying to steer me towards my goals. And I guess social media was one big question mark. In our day and age, I think people who are my batch, we started social media when we were around high school, college, and we became habituated, right? It became part of our daily lives. It was very organic. We're not digital natives. I even forgot the term. We're not digital natives. No, sorry. We're not digital immigrants. We're digital natives. So digital is in our DNA, so to speak. So, of course, it started from sharing photos, Facebook, Instagram. I wasn't much of a gamer, so I was just there um, sharing photos, sharing stories online, and then Twitter came around. So I would, share everything within 140 characters, if you guys remember. So I was very open, I was very raw. Thankfully, I deleted all of my tweets. I think that was around 25,000 of them because I was just sharing everything. Like, I'm eating dinner, I just went out for a jog, I played basketball with my neighbors, things of that nature without any value. And then it transitioned into more polished social media posts like Instagram. And then, of course, for work, I would do social media as well. I was a digital marketer. And then it progressed to what I do for work. So that was a lot of, YouTube videos, Facebook, building communities, and YouTube as well. But then there came a point, especially during the pandemic, wherein social media companies, these big companies, instead of trying to connect people, they used their power, they used their platforms to extract information, to influence you to become addicted, to stay in their platforms for longer so that they can sell you, we are the product, right? To advertisers. And as the end user, you and me, using social media became more of a distraction than a source of joy, connection, and for a certain period, also inspiration from me. So I would follow, I'm not sure what the exact Instagram handle was, but I think it's like Good News Movement, wherein in the middle of the pandemic, where we're bombarded by bad news, I would follow them. They're very inspiring. I would follow a lot of these channels wherein I learn a lot every day. School of Greatness, Ali Abdal, The Daily Stoic, Chris Williamson, Alex Hermosi. So I would really learn a lot from these creators. And mind you, I still listen to them until today. But along the lines, going back to me in that phase of self discovery, I just became habituated that if something happens in my life, I am required to post it. So I forgot that phase wherein stories became a thing. So I'm not sure if you used Snapchat before, but that became a thing as well, Snapchat. And they popularized disappearing photos and videos. So that was when Instagram picked it up as stories. And it was very nice because it was very raw. You didn't really need to be too polished. It wouldn't appear in your feed after 24 hours. It would be gone forever, right? Unless you put it in your archive. Now you can highlight it in your profile. Before you couldn't. But anyway, I digress, right? So it became very raw. I was one of those people wherein my whole day, you would know what I did, right? Stories, they would start out as like really long dashes. There are certain days wherein my story was like, they were like invisible dots, consistent dots on my feed. So it's like, if I have a meal and it's, let's say, a tasting menu, it would be like 10 plates. Each plate would be its own post. I didn't even put any, like, gallery or filter or whatnot. I was one of those guys. But in that phase of self discovery, it got me thinking, did I post it so that I can share how my life is going? Like, did I post it for other people to see how I am? Like, genuinely for friends? Or is it just for general public consumption that, hey, here's Enro, here's what he's doing? And I don't know, I'm not sure if that had any value to the world. For sure, I had posts wherein when I see something interesting, when I see something inspiring, and sometimes when I compose things myself, people would also find it, motivating and delightful and inspiring. And I appreciate it when people like those posts and message me directly. But then as a whole, I was having this social media existential crisis, so to speak. So I think it was around, yes, August, September of last year, where I decided, okay, maybe I should stop first. I'll learn about why I'm doing it. I'll learn about how I feel about not posting, because it also took a lot of my time, right? So you and me, we would do a lot of stuff. We would have our day jobs. Whether you're a freelancer or a salesperson or an employee, we would have something that we prioritize on a day-to-day basis, right? And then after this would be our family, our friends, our romantic relationship, our spiritual life. So we have a lot of things going on. And social media, for me, again, it was a big question mark, because where does it fit in that puzzle of life? And of course, looking back, I was 29 years old, right? So in a way, I was trying to maximize my 20s, and it was part of that realization that I need to find where social media fits in that picture. And for a time, the solution for me was, maybe I need to quit social media first. Not completely. Of course, when it was Christmas, I greeted. When it was New Year, I greeted. When I got engaged with my fiance, of course, I posted as well. But in any case, zooming out, I quit social media, right? So number one, I was able to prioritize the things that mattered to me. And at the time, I think there was still that withdrawal symptoms. Like, at the end of the day, I would usually batch all of my posts. And that would be for the day before. Someone told me that for privacy reasons, para lang, alam mo yun, hindi ako mag-kidnap, delay your posts, right? So that they don't know, the bad guys won't know where you are at any given time. And it took that portion of my night. And for the 12 months, I didn't really have that, right? So here's my realization. It went back to the question of, am I doing it for other people to see my life? Or am I genuinely happy or Did I really find something inspiring for me to share it with my followers? Does that make sense? Like, I'll try to put this another way. If you're gonna buy something, are you buying it because you want other people to know you have it? Or do you genuinely want to buy it for yourself? So I think in a way, social media was like that for me at a certain point. And then while I was in that phase of self discovery, it kind of transitioned into hey, I don't need to post on social media anymore. I am happy with my life. I'm accomplishing a lot of things for work. I'm doing all of these talks in front of thousands of people about personal finance. I'm landing clients left and right. At work, we launched the digital investment platform. I'm building things. And it got to a point wherein I said, I don't need social media. I like consuming, people who inspire me. Of course, friends sharing their accomplishments. I congratulate them. I love that because I feed off that energy. I want people to achieve success and I want to celebrate them. Whichever field, if it's running a marathon, if it's traveling the world, getting engaged and getting married, I love you for sharing all of those milestones in your life. But then for me personally, that I got to a phase in those 12 months wherein I was able to focus my energy on things that mattered to me, in building things, in becoming the best person I could be, upskilling myself, working on my relationships romantically. I got engaged, I mentioned, with my family, being closer to my parents and my sisters, you know, planning for the wedding, all of these things. But then that was another existential crisis. Like, why do I need to post now? I became so habituated to not posting at all. And it got to a point where people were wondering, like, what happened to you, Enro? Or I miss your posts, your seafood Saturdays. So, side note, pre-pandemic, that was the day when the cook would go to the market and buy seafood. So, obviously, to keep things fresh, she would already cook the seafood on Saturdays. So that's why seafood Saturdays. Or I miss your inspirational posts with hashtag success in progress, because that was in a way my life mantra, success in progress, right? Progress over perfection. So I miss your posts. Those keep me inspired, I miss them. Why don't you share them anymore? So yeah, I had that portion wherein I was also wondering, like, there are other people who you can be inspired by. I'm also inspired by them. Like, why does it have to be me? Um, and I'm not sure if it's being arrogant, but I'm just being raw here. I'm just being, authentic. And I hate to say this, it might sound arrogant, but then Clark Kent doesn't need to prove he's Superman. I'll repeat that. Clark Kent doesn't need to prove he's Superman. And that thought just kept lingering in my head. Like, I was prioritizing doing the best I can at work, doing the best I can in my personal life, my career, my finances, all the side investments and businesses I have on the side, right? Side hustles, whatnot. Why do I need to post? And that was the realization. It was because in the past, I used social media as a way to fuel myself because I needed the validation to keep on going. Is that making sense? Because I go back to social media during college, during the early years in my corporate life, and I guess in a way social media was my proof my evidence that I was living this life, that I was striving towards something. And then now that I actually achieved those things, it felt like I didn't need social media anymore. I didn't need to share it. Is that making sense? I remember that time when I was, of course, new to work. I started out my corporate life in Globe. And I would say this in all my talks. I would take pride in knowing I was the last person in the office going home. Not every day I posted on social media, but looking back, I think it was always Fridays wherein I would post it because more often than not, Fridays, I'm the only one there. Yeah, maybe there would be a few people there because after 10 o'clock, after 10 p.m., the lights would be off. And in our desks at Globe, we would have our individual pin lights. So if you see on your floor that someone else's pin light was open, it means they're working. Someone was working late at night. So I would see one or two sometimes on the floor. So I keep getting sidetracked. So for me, I went to that phase like, do I really need this? Do I need to post this? And I'm not sure. Little by little, there are certain signs through people or through reflections that I read on a daily basis, or actually some social media posts, or even YouTube videos, video essays of people talking, podcast episodes, wherein they really said you should share your story, you should share your journey. And slowly I realized it didn't come through me like an avalanche, but it's just a small buildup of things wherein sharing your story can actually help a lot of people, and most especially people you don't know, but it's people who need you the most. And me trying to rationalize that thought, I thought about the icons and the legends that I look up to. I think about Steve Jobs. I think about Kobe Bryant. Now, what if they documented their journey? Imagine Kobe Bryant vlogging his workouts. Yes, in a way, it would cut from his time shooting, dribbling, doing the drills. But as a as a fan, as someone who looks up to Kobe Bryant, I would be inspired on a daily basis just watching him work, just watching him do the fundamentals, the basics, because Kobe as a player, he wasn't so gifted with athleticism or vertical jump, but he was gifted with the mentality to know that the fundamentals matter, the basics matter. So that was what he focused on. He focused on the footwork, the dribbling, the passing, the shooting, the basketball IQ, knowing the rules, knowing which parts of the floor the referees won't be able to see, trying to take advantage of those positions, knowing each player's strengths and weaknesses. So imagine if he vlogged that. What would the impact be for someone like me and maybe thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of others? That would be stupendous, right? And I'm not saying I'm a Kobe Bryant, right? That's the furthest from the truth. I'm not saying I'm gonna be a Steve Jobs, right? But I can I can attempt to, right? I'm gonna strive to. Because if you're striving to become the best version of yourself, you will unmistakably be extraordinary. I really like that word, not only because it starts with E and Enra starts with E, But extraordinary is because it's just extra on top of being ordinary, right? You're just doing extra every day, every week, every month, consistently for years and even decades. If you're being consistent, if you're being disciplined, you will become extraordinary as you strive the best version of yourself with everything that God has given you, whether that's your gifts, your blessings, the people around you, even your pains, the challenges and obstacles that you had to go through, that you had to overcome. Those things made you stronger. Those gave you lessons that, you wouldn't really regret. So that was the turning point in my self discovery part in my life. So, where do I go from here? I think it's 20 plus minutes already. I'm it's becoming a long episode. This was supposed to be like very short. But I I commit to document the journey. Whether it's polished, whether it's raw like this, because me, I'm a perfectionist. That's why I need to remind myself success in progress. Progress over perfection. Because I'm a perfectionist. I had to turn on the lights behind me. I had to turn on the studio lights. I had to use a microphone like this. I'm using a nice camera because it I have to admit it because that's me. But I also have to, in a way, pinch myself because it doesn't have to be like this. Like, I can just like use my phone, right? But okay, again, I commit to document the journey, and I'll focus on things that inspire me, that hopefully will inspire you. Things that I learn from external, from the people around me, from my experiences, my work, and share it with you. I'm going to share the things that I'm working on, things that I'm building. I'm going to expose the highs and the lows of my life. And yeah, I think for a certain portion, and the people closest to me would know this, the success and progress posts that I had before, it's mostly reminders to myself, right? I didn't really compose those or write those or post those for other people, although I knew that maybe other people will find it valuable, but it was really reminders to myself, right? Things might be controversial, it might be, obvious or straightforward, but yeah, I commit to sharing my life, but being more intentional. I think that's the word. Being more intentional. And of course, I would slip up if I had a nice dinner. I would share that dinner. I'll try to sprinkle a bit of lessons and stuff like that. If I travel, I'll share what inspired me about that new place that I visited. If I have new experiences with my fiance, my soon to be wife, I want to share that as well. Maybe we can share things together as we're learning this in this new chapter of our lives. But yeah, I commit to share. Not everything people will like. Maybe some things will ruffle up some people's feathers, might step on people's toes, but know that it will be coming from a place of love, a place of care. And I know that privilege is real. I have my own privileges. I know all of us have our own problems. But yeah, it will be coming from a place of care. And if I'm wrong, call me out, comment down below, message me directly. But in your journey to strive the best version of yourself, becoming extraordinary, you will discover a lot of things about yourself, about your life, about people around you. Don't forget to enjoy the view. I know everyone is climbing their own mountains, some steeper than others, but look back and see how far you've come. Enjoy the view. Remind yourself that life is good. Life is good. And I guess I'll end by saying a successful life is a fruitful life, right? Because the fruit isn't for the plant itself, the fruit is for the animals around it, the community, the people who pass by. The fruit is not for the plant itself. So a successful life is a fruitful life. And yeah, I know this is becoming a long video, but this is just the start. I commit to share the journey. I commit to being as raw as possible like this. If I missed something, it might be for the next video, next follow-up video. But yeah, I have a talk in a few hours about branding. I hope I give value to the audience there. It's exciting because I'm also expanding my repertoire of topics. Before it was just personal finance, then it became digital transformation, then now it's branding, then I'm also talking about a lot of exciting stuff. So if you wanna hop on and follow along the journey, please subscribe, follow me on social media. My personal finance channel is Talk to Enro. So at Talk to Enro, you can visit me at talktoenro.com as well. The goal there is to share everything I know for free through the content, but I have some paid products as well, and those things I plan to expand just to monetize it, to keep it going. But yeah, if you want to support, please follow me in that personal brand channel as well. So I'll cut it here. It's almost 30 minutes, but yeah, thank you. Thank you for staying until the end. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.